Hello guys, welcome to another exciting episode on Pious Football, where I bring you the latest in transfer news. We discuss tactical analysis of games as pre-season is ongoing now, going into the new season in Europe. And also we talk about pertinent issues around football that you don't usually hear on mainstream European market. Now let's just go right in and start today's exciting episode at the camp of Tottenham Hotspur. You remember the ongoing saga surrounding Harry Kane. The news coming in from the German newspaper Bild. Remember, Bild is a very credible source for transfer news surrounding German players, especially Bayern Munich. So the news coming in is that Harry Kane's wife is actually house hunting in the suburbs of Munich. Now, if you would believe that, then it means that the saga surrounding Harry Kane might be coming close to an end. It means that Bayern Munich are very confident of signing Harry Kane, and indeed Harry Kane is indeed keen on the move to Bayern Munich. And if his wife is house hunting, and honestly, news coming in this morning just before I started my episode is that she is actually also looking for a school for her kids. So Bayern Munich, Harry Kane, it might look like it's actually happening. It's getting real. Remember, they submitted an initial bid of around 70 million euros. That was rebuffed by Daniel Levy, and now they have also submitted an improved offer somewhere in the region of 80 million plus add-ons. I told you that bid might actually also be rebuffed, but I think that in overall, Bayern Munich are hoping to spend somewhere around 110 million euros for Harry Kane. So Daniel Levy would definitely take more than 100 million pounds for his star striker. So Harry Kane to Bayern Munich. Let's see. Keep our fingers crossed on that one. Also, an ongoing transfer going on that I informed you about surrounding Liverpool is the midfielder, their captain, Jordan Henderson. I don't always know why I say John Henderson. Jordan Henderson is actually on his way out. I told you before that Al Ittifaq, the team that is coached by his former captain, Steven Gerrard, actually wanted him. They are going to pay him a lucrative offer, somewhere around 700,000 pounds a week, which is something that he can't turn down, like I told you before. And so the news coming in is that a medical has been conducted. I told you also in my previous episode that he was going to leave to Saudi Arabia for his medical after their preseason game against the German club in Germany. Now he's done his medical. What is left now is signing of documents, and then official announcement will be made somewhere maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. So then Jordan Henderson to Al Ittifaq is a done deal as far as Pious Football is concerned. Also at the camp of Liverpool, I told you that Fabinho is also a subject of interest from Saudi clubs, especially Al Hilal. So fingers crossed on that deal. They brought in a bid of around 40 million euros, and I told you that Liverpool will accept that offer. So now let's go and see. Let's see how that move will materialize. I'm sure that Fabinho will move to Saudi very soon. So Fabinho and Jordan Henderson leaving. I told you Liverpool are in the market to replace those two players. Rumors surrounding Thiago Alcantara is also likely he might leave, but he prefers a move to Spain rather than go to Saudi Arabia. And he's also a target of some Saudi clubs who are looking to raid Liverpool as they are raiding other clubs across the globe. Also, they are looking are looking at Romeo Lavia. You remember I told you in my previous episode that they might actually try and sign this Crystal Palace midfielder Sheikh Doucouré. However, the transfer fee of that, the price of that player, which is 70 million pounds, as Crystal Palace are demanding, is going to be rebuffed by Liverpool. And I told you that Liverpool might actually go back and try and sign Lavia, and that is exactly what has happened. Now Liverpool are rather interested in signing Lavia for somewhere around £40 million rather than spend £70 million on Sheikh Doucouré from Crystal Palace. So right now Liverpool are negotiating. I can tell you that Liverpool are actively in negotiations with Southampton to try and sign Romeo Lavia from Southampton for somewhere around £40 million. Remember, the buyout clause for the player is £40 million, but that is only activated for next year. So if Liverpool want to sign him, they have to try and buy him at a price that Southampton wants now, and that is Romeo Lavia to Liverpool. Fingers crossed on that deal. Also, I'd like to touch on the fact that Eric Bailly is a subject of interest from Saudi Arabia as well. Remember, Saudi Arabia have already signed Alex Telles from Manchester United. Now they are looking to sign Eric Bailly. Now Al Nassr are trying to beef up their squad for the coming season, and they are, they've already signed Brozovic. They've signed, they are in negotiations to try and sign Sadio Mane. I told you this in my previous episode. They are negotiating with Bayern Munich to sign Sadio Mane, who is currently in Dubai. They are in negotiations to sign a host of other, players to compete with the host of Al Hilal and Al Ali, who are very actively buying, top class players from Europe. So Al Nassr, right there, trying to make some important moves. Now, also at the camp of Eric Bailly, I have been told that they are interested. Fulham are interested in signing him. Fulham have inquired at Manchester United the availability of Eric Bailly, and I believe that United have told them that Eric Bailly is available for £2 million for anyone who is interested. So Eric Bailly might be making a move right there. Also, don't forget at the camp of Manchester United that outgoing players that the club is looking to sell. One of them is Fred, and Fred is already negotiating with Fulham. So let's see how that bid would go. Also, I'd like to talk about Alexander Mitrovic, the Fulham striker. Now, he's causing a bit of waves at the Craven Cottage. He has told the team manager that he wants to leave. Fulham are unwilling to sell him now. Remember, Mitrovic had a bit of trouble last season when he was banned for 9 games after violently confronting a referee in the FA Cup against Manchester United. Since then, it seems that he sort of become disillusioned in the Premier League, and he's looking for a move. And now the Saudi club Al Hilal are interested in signing Alexander Mitrovic. They are willing to make an offer of around £35 million for the striker, the Serbian striker. And so now Fulham are at the crossroads. They are trying to keep the player, but the player has told the club that he wants to leave. He wants to play in Saudi Arabia. He has told his family to prepare that he wants to go to Saudi Arabia. So fingers crossed on Alexander Mitrovic from Fulham to Saudi Arabia. Also at the camp of Fulham, a lot is happening at Fulham right now. Their manager, Marco Silva, is also a target for Saudi club Al Hilal. Now remember, Al Hilal have already snapped up Karim Benzema and a host of other players. Koulibaly, Benjamin Mendy from Chelsea are all Al Hilal players. Now the news coming in is that Al Hilal is looking for a coach, and they have identified Marco Silva, the Fulham manager, as a top target. They are willing to offer him €40 million for a 2-year deal, and they are willing to pay his buyout clause of £6 million from Fulham. So at the moment, Fulham are in a bit of a limbo. They are not willing to lose their they are not willing to lose their manager, and they are not willing to lose their top striker. So Fulham, they are at the mercy of Saudi clubs. So let's see how things will materialize as the days go ahead. Also, I would like to talk about Aston Villa, ambitious Aston Villa. Remember, that is the name Pius Football has decided to give Aston Villa in this summer transfer window. They are, very ambitious. Remember, they last signed the Spanish defender Pau Torres from Villarreal, and now they have signed Moussa Diaby from Bayer Leverkusen. Top target from the German league, one of the best players in the German league. Now, if Aston Villa are able to sign this player, it shows the power of the Premier League, the financial might of the Premier League, and the ambition that the new management at Aston Villa this time around are trying to put forward. Remember, they already have a world-class manager. Villa will play in the Europa League next season, so it will be interesting to watch Aston Villa next season. I'm sure that a lot of you will be watching some of their games to try and see how they progress as the season goes on. Also, at the camp of I think Barcelona, they are looking to sell more players to try and make some money, to try and reinvest in their midfield. And the news coming in is that they have allowed Umtiti to go for free to Lille. He's gone to Lille. Umtiti, remember, was on loan at an Italian club last season. They did very well. He did very well with them. And now the news coming in is that Umtiti is now signed a 2-year deal with Lille. He's gone as a free agent, but it's good that Barca are trying to get rid of some players so that they can boost their financial coffers and then be able to sign more players. So good move for Umtiti. Is still 29 years old. As a central defender, is very young. He has a lot of career, a lot of time ahead of him to try and improve on his career because of suffering a lot of injuries that are set him back. But Lille move good for Umtiti and also good for Barcelona. So let's see how that goes. Also, I want to talk about Atamelo. Atamelo, remember, was on loan at Liverpool last season, but he didn't play much because of injuries. Now it's confirmed he's gone on loan to Fiorentina from Juventus. Remember, he's still a Juventus player, but now he's on loan at Fiorentina. But Fiorentina have an option to buy if his performance can improve. Mind you, Atamelo is also a player who has suffered a lot of injury troubles that has hampered his career and his progress. He was a promising midfielder when he came up from Grêmio in Brazil, but now it looks like his injuries has limited him so much and has couped the promising career that he had. But let's hope that he can revive his career at Fiorentina. So I'll be keeping an eye on Atamelo to Fiorentina as time goes on. Also, I like to look at Anthony Elanga. Just came in. Manchester United, also another club, trying to sell some players. They are under financial fair play rules. They have to work within the limits of FFP, and so they are trying to sell a lot of the players that they don't need. And one of them is Anthony Elanga. Thankfully, a £50 million move to Aston Villa has been confirmed by the club. Her medical has been done, and so Anthony Elanga, a promising winger, a chance to boost his career by starting in a team where he can start and exhibit his talent. So Anthony Elanga, I'm happy for the lad. Good move. Nottingham Forest. Let's see how that move will go. Also, Kudus is a wanted man. Remember, Mohamed Kudus, a Ghanaian international, was very good at the World Cup. Still very good in the Dutch league. Scored about 17 goals overall in all competitions. Made some very good assists. A decent midfielder. Now, news coming in is that he's wanted by Chelsea. Remember, Arsenal was a point of interest for Kudus. I said earlier in one of my episodes that I heard about rumors of Kudus to Arsenal, but I wasn't really sure about the rumor. I wanted to confirm before telling you guys. Now, what I can confirm is that Chelsea have approached Ajax to try and sign Mohamed Kudus. Personal terms I have heard, and I am confirmed that they are almost done with personal terms. Pochettino is trying to sign an attacking midfielder. My problem with this deal, I'll talk about in my next episode. I am not sure Kudus moving to Chelsea is a good move for him. Looking at the talent that are available in the Chelsea position, that I think that Kudus would excel is the number 10 role. Remember, I told you that Pochettino is likely to play a 4-2-3-1, which is what he has played throughout his career. The number 10 role is currently occupied by Christopher Nkunku, and Kudus might come in as a number 8, but I doubt if Kudus would start, because right now Chelsea are still in negotiations to try and sign Moises Caicedo. So Kudus to Chelsea, interesting move right there, but I don't know if it's a good move for a player to make. Remember, he's also a point of interest for Brighton. Brighton is a club where he can play day in, day out and showcase his talent to the world, but I'm not sure at the moment that Brighton will be able to match the offer that Chelsea will be able are going to make. Now remember, Ajax value Kudus at £52 million. So let's see how that move will materialize. Also, at the camp of Ghana, still Ghanaian players on the move. Mohamed Salisu is also a man in demand. Remember, Southampton went on relegation last season. They are trying to sell some of their star players to try and beef up their squad for the championship season coming up. And one of the players they are trying to sell is Salisu now. Ideally, they would like to hold on to Salisu, but Salisu is a top talent that doesn't, want to play in the championship. He wants to move, and then Monaco are looking to have Mohamed Salisu in their ranks in their new season. Remember, they had a very disastrous season last season. The Sassi is also a subject of interest. The Monaco defender, the Sassi, Axel the Sassi, might move. So they are looking to replace Axel the Sassi in case he leaves. And also, even if he doesn't leave, Mohamed Salisu is a top talent that Monaco would like to have. And so Monaco have had 2 bids already rebuffed by Southampton. Remember, I said Southampton don't want to lose Salisu, but they don't have a choice. The player wants to leave. So Monaco have already bid twice for Salisu. They are preparing for a third offer. PSG are in the news. Final transfer story for today. PSG in the news, and the news coming in is that they have left Mbappe at home in France as they go on preseason in Japan. Remember, they played a preseason game in Japan yesterday, but that's not the news. I mean, we know that was what was in the news for some time now, that PSG were threatening to leave Mbappe behind, and they did. But the news is that the Professional Players Union, have come out to try and sort of speak on behalf of Mbappe, that Mbappe is being abused by PSG. Now, remember, what is the fracas of all this Kylian Mbappe issue now? Remember that when Mbappe contract was about ending in the summer of 2020, there was a big deal of news surrounding his move to Real Madrid. Remember, Real Madrid were willing to pay a huge sum of money to, take Mbappe to the Santiago Bernabeu, but the French president was called in to save the day for PSG. Mbappe turned around, although he promised Florentino Perez he was going to come. He turned around and signed a new deal with PSG. I mean, Real Madrid fans were livid. PSG fans were excited. But what we didn't know at the time was that a clause was put in that contract that Mbappe could stay for another year and extend his contract. Now, the clause says that Mbappe stands to get somewhere around 50 million euros for his loyalty if he stays for another year and then renews his contract. So the news coming in is that it was supposed to be a secret. Mbappe sent a letter to PSG informing them that he was going to stay for that additional 1 year as stated in the contract that he signed, but he was not going to renew his contract. That meant that although Mbappe was staying for another year, he was going to go for free the following year and take a loyalty bonus of 50 million euros. And PSG are having none of that. I mean, they didn't see that coming. I don't know why they didn't see it coming. It's a contract you signed. You put in a clause in there to try and attract the player to stay. The player stayed, played for 2 years. Now going to play his 3rd year, take his 50 million euros as a loyalty bonus and leave for free. And that is the contract you signed with the player. But now PSG are trying to force the player's hand, threatening him that he either has to, decide to extend his deal or decide to be sold. Now PSG wrote in a letter to Mbappe earlier this month that, hey, this is what we know, that you have damaged our club by revealing the nature of this clause to outsiders. Now, by outsiders, I mean the press, and especially to Real Madrid. And Florentino Perez currently is just watching how things are going. He's going to wait and sign Mbappe for free next year and give Mbappe 100 million euros. That money is going to go to Mbappe. Now, PSG are having none of it, and they are hoping that they can force Mbappe's hand to leave. Saudi clubs are circling around. Chelsea, Arsenal, rumors are circling around. But my view, the view of pious football, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm giving you warning ahead of time. I'm not going to spend a lot of time to talk about Mbappe to Saudi Arabia, Mbappe to Chelsea, Mbappe to Arsenal, because it's not going to happen. We all know Mbappe wants to go to Real Madrid. Real Madrid are not going to bid for Mbappe now. They're going to wait for him to come for free. So the news coming in is that, Chelsea, Arsenal, Saudi clubs looking for him, trying to sign Mbappe. It's not going to materialize. Empire's football is not going to spend time on those deals, talking about those deals, because they are not going to happen. Mbappe is going to go to Real Madrid for free. And so all the rumors surrounding Mbappe's move, I can say on Piles Football that is not going to happen. So we are not going to spend time talking about those deals. Also, I want to talk about friendlies happening. Arsenal played Manchester United. I'm going to do a quick analysis on those deals because a lot of time has been spent on the transfers news that I've brought to you this morning. Manchester United fielded 2 teams, first half, second half, just like we do always in our 2 previous preseason matches. We won 2-0 against Arsenal, and also as part of the contract that was signed, penalties were supposed to be played to try and excite the crowd. And also I think it's a good run-in for the players if you can have play penalty in front of 80,000 crowd, which was at the Mets Stadium yesterday. So from the Manchester United side, I can say that Kobbie Mainoo is still in the name that people are mentioning. Remember, Erik ten Hag has already said after the game against Olympique Lyon that Kobbie Mainoo is someone that is excited about. He is someone that he wants to use this season in the first team. He's already informed the board that Kobbie Mainoo will not be moving to any club, that he's not going to go on loan. He's going to stay in the club and play in some of the games. So big season coming up for Kobbie Mainoo. Remember last season it was Alessandro Garnacho who was in the news. Now Garnacho came from the ranks of the youth team. He was bought from Atletico Madrid. Now they won the FA Youth Cup. Remember that FA Youth Cup team had Kobbie Mainoo also in the heart of midfield. Now this season it is a time for Kobbie Mainoo to shine. So the name is Kobbie Mainoo, and that is what the highlight of the game showed in the first half. He also had a beautiful assist for Bruno Fernandes. Remember, Bruno Fernandes also scoring the first game for Manchester United as captain officially. So it's all good sentiments all around. Overall, I would not say that Manchester United are in a good place because it's pre-season. For me personally, I think that as a manager, you learn more about your team and about your players when you lose rather than when you win. So, and it shows in the sort of analysis that Arteta did after the game against Manchester United yesterday. But for Manchester United, I think it's still good. If you play 3 games and yet to concede a goal, the vibes are good. Hopefully, we don't have an injury. Unfortunately, yesterday Amad Diallo went injured. He was living in crutches. So I hope I'll bring you news about Amad Diallo very soon in my next episode about the state of his injuries, and let's hope it's not serious, and then maybe he will have a time to prove that he deserves to be in the first team. I said earlier in his previous 2 preseason games, Amad Diallo has been spectacular. So this injury comes as a bit of bad news for him. But let's see if he will be ready to play in our next 2 preseason games. If not, we have, I think, about 4 preseason games to play before the season starts. So, he will have a chance to play against Atletico Bilbao at Old Trafford before the season starts. So, let's see how things go for him. Talking points from Manchester United, I think that is about it. Sancho also scored a beautiful goal. Now, remember, he's been used as a false 9 in all of our 3 preseason matches. Now, I don't know if that is a message Ten Hag is sending to us that Sancho might actually be used as a false 9. I don't believe he will be used as a false 9 because Martial is injured. Martial is not going to leave unless we get an offer for him, which I doubt. So Martial and then probably United are trying to sign another striker. So maybe Martial and the striker we are trying to sign will be our 2 top strikers for the season. So Sancho will revert back to his position at the right wing. So I don't know. Sancho's form in preseason. Remember when we played in Bangkok last season when we were on tour at Asia, he was very good. But when the season started, he was nowhere to be found. So Sancho's form, maybe he might flatter to deceive. Maybe this time around, he would actually come good. I hope that he will come good, but for now, I'm not banking my hopes on Jadon Sancho being anything more than what he's shown in the last 2 years at Manchester United. At the camp of Arsenal, I want to talk about Jurrien Timber. I told you when he was signed right here on this show that Jurrien Timber is being bought to play as a right back and not as a centre back, because the options as centre back for Arsenal are always going to be Gabriel Magalhaes and then William Saliba. And I told you that the right back position has been a problem for Arsenal for quite some time now. So Jurrien Timber, who is very comfortable playing as a right back, as well as a centre back, might actually be brought in to play as a right back. And indeed, on his first game for Arsenal, he was deployed as a right back and he did very good. Like I said, he's very good on the ball. He likes to play the ball a lot as a defender. Sometimes I think that he plays the ball too much than even defending. But Jurrien Timber at right back is a very good move for Arsenal, and I know that he will be successful. So fingers crossed for Jurrien Timber. Excited for Arsenal for that player. One thing that I want to talk about is the fact that Arteta deployed the 4-2-3-1 formation. He played Kai Havertz and Declan Rice in the base of his pivot, and then played Odegaard as a number 10. Now that is a signal to you that is his preferred three strong midfield that he wants to play next season. Playing Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Odegaard in midfield. So these three midfielders are his first choice, and they started the game yesterday. Unfortunately, I think it was a new game for Declan Rice. We can't judge Declan Rice too much after his first game. Kai Havertz, unfortunately, didn't do really too well in the number 8 role, but that is a role that he intends to use Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is not going to be playing as a number 10 unless Odegaard is injured, and even with that, I think he will have Emil Smith-Rowe coming in to play, to debutize for Odegaard if he's injured. So Emil Smith-Rowe is the number 10 option for Arteta if Odegaard is not around. So the number 8 position is what Kai Havertz is looking to occupy. He didn't do well yesterday, but I think that he will come good as time goes on. So I'm not going to say too much about the move. I know people have started, saying Kai Havertz is not going to be successful at Arsenal. I bet to differ. I think Kai Havertz will do so well. Also, Chelsea were in the news. They played Brighton. I couldn't watch that game. It was very late. I had to go to bed. But reading from what I have, the highlights I've seen and what I have read this morning, I told you that Nicholas Jackson will come good for Chelsea. The guy's movement is so marvelous, and he gives. And if you are a striker and you have good movement, you only need to be at the right place and you will score. And he did score yesterday, and he provided 3 assists. Now in his previous game he provided 2 assists. Now his movement shows. Now this is what shows that he has good movement, that he gives assists to players around him. He makes the players around him play better, and that is one quality of Nicholas Jackson that people have not talked about, that his movement makes players around him play better, and that is going to help Chelsea in the long run. So I am excited for Nicholas Jackson. I am excited for Casadei. Remember, Casadei went on loan last season, brought in from Italy, a very talented Italian midfielder. So let's see, fingers crossed, Casadei might actually play a big role for Chelsea in their coming season. Remember, they are not playing in Europe, so there are many games there to play, but I'm sure Casadei will have a place in the new season for Chelsea. Now, Chelsea deployed a 4-2-3-1, so a lot of teams playing in that role, 4-2-3-1. Manchester City played the Japanese club yesterday. They played their normal 4-3-3. But as usual, there's nothing much to say about City team. Pretty much the same team they played. They played last season. They are trying to get a deal for a defender from Leipzig. I told you that move, there will be around 120 million euros at the end of the day. City are trying to beat down the price. Leipzig